Hey, how y'all doing out there in YouTube land? This is Stiletto coming at you from the Wild Wild West. And today, I got a video made for a viewer by the name of John Smith. He asked me a question today, and this is my response. Well, actually, the second part of the response, because I already responded to his question, but I also told him I'd make a video about his question. And so anyway, this is it. He asked me what would be a great ambidextrous knife to carry if you carry a concealed carry weapon or firearm. And he wants to be able to carry it in his left pocket. In his left pocket, because I guess he uses his, he carries his firearm on his strong side, his right side. And so these are just a few choices I picked out that I tried to get a variety of knives that I picked out, and he was mainly interested in OTFs, but unfortunately I don't have any OTFs. I used to have a couple OTFs, but I got rid of them because I'm not really a big OTF fan. And the only OTF that sounds interesting to me, really, there's a couple of them, and the one's made by Studies and Observation Group. Uh-oh, Juno's here joining us. Juno's making her grand entrance. Yes, Juno is. She wants to say hi to everybody out there in YouTube land. Yeah, it's my grandbaby. Yeah, it's my Juju. Yes, she is. Okay, sweetie. That's my girl. But he was asking me about, what would be the best suggestions, and he was interested mostly in a double-edged OTF. And the only ones I know that are really good are the Hawks Lock OTF that doesn't have any blade play, but it's really expensive, and the Studies and Observation Group Pentagon, the new Pentagon for this year. And this is the manual Pentagon, but they also make an automatic Pentagon from Studies and Observations Group. And I think that one sounds like a really good knife, and it's not so expensive. And it doesn't have that much blade play, according to what I saw on the Knife Center and some different videos. So that's basically what I have to base my opinion on when it comes to OTFs, is I have to go by what I've seen other people do in their videos. And the Hawks Lock one is supposed to be really good, but it's super expensive, I understand. Okay, let's get into the ones that I would choose if I was a law enforcement officer or a concealed carry. I have been a concealed carry person, and I can conceal carry now if I want to, but I choose not to because I almost shot somebody one time. And it sort of made me sort of realize that maybe I shouldn't be concealed carry because maybe I get mad too fast. But that's why I don't conceal carry. And I find that having something that's too easy to do sometimes can be a bad thing, because we all can get scared and we all could think that our lives are in danger even when they're really not, and do something that we may regret later. And so that's the reason why I choose not to conceal carry. I have no problems with other people that conceal carry, and sometimes I do conceal carry if I'm going to a dangerous place or something like that, but for my everyday use, I'm not that worried about having to need a gun or something like that. If I see somebody with a gun or trying to do something with a gun, I'm gonna get away from them. I'm not gonna try to interfere with them. I'm gonna get away from them. I don't want to mess with nobody with a gun. If you have a weapon, then you could do something about something, but if you don't, don't take a knife to a gunfight. Bad idea. The only time I'd use a knife against a gun is if it was like close quarters combat, because sometimes a knife can be faster than a gun in close quarters when you're right on top of somebody. But if somebody has some distance between you and them and they have a gun, it's better for you to run than to fight. It's better to run away and live and be able to fight another day. Don't get in no altercation with somebody that has a gun that has, some distance on you. That'd be my advice. I would say stay away from anybody with any kind of weapon anyway, unless you don't have any other choice, but to defend yourself, I would always say, keep your distance. But anyway, let's get into these. These are some of my favorite ambidextrous knives that I have carried over the years. All these knives I have extensively carried. So I know these are good knives. And what I mean by good knives, the pivots don't come loose. They stay the way that you set them up. Once you set them all up the way you want them, and they're very dependable, very reliable, have good blade steels, and just very good all-around knives. A couple of them are made in the United States, and a couple are made in Taiwan. Okay, let's start off with the Taiwan ones first. This is Studies and Observations Group. This is my personal one that Studies and Observation Group sent me. Got my name on it, Stiletto. I absolutely love this one. I have two of these. Studies and Observation Group sent me two of these, and this is the one I use. The other one I collect. This one's been used a lot. It's been carried a lot and used a lot. Absolutely love it. Now this is one hand opener. Okay, I guess I should be using my left hand, huh? I'm not as good with my left hand, but you see how easily I can open and close it with my left hand. That's the only point that I'm trying to prove. So if you're using this for your weak side hand, an Axis style lock, and this is the XR lock, which is S.O.G's version of the Benchmade Axis lock. But I really like this one better because it has a flipper. And why do I like flippers? Because they protect your fingers if the lock was to give out. I doubt this lock would give out unless you're banging the pommel of it. But because Axis locks are very strong locks. This is a very nice knife. I would highly, highly, highly recommend this one. This one has CTS6 HP, it's DLC coated. It's cryogenically heat treated. It's got about a 3.6, a little bit over a 3.6 inch blade. Excellent knife. G10 handle scales, fully steel lined. It's a beautiful knife. That'll be the first one up, the Pentagon from S.O.G. And now they make this even with carbon fiber. This is the steel version, this is the old one. The new one comes with carbon fiber, so it's like super lightweight and it's easy to carry. And I think that's one thing that would be important to me if I was carrying a bunch of other gear. If I was a law enforcement person, because I know they wear those what do you call them? Those Sam Brown belts, and they have like their weapons and tasers and all sorts of crap on them. I wouldn't want to carry something. I wouldn't want to be carrying something around all day that would add a bunch of weight to me. And so I would probably stay with something fairly lightweight. I wouldn't go into a heavyweight knife. I would keep it, because what would a law enforcement officer need a knife for? Because as a weapon, they're going to use their primary weapons. They're going to use their firearm or their less than lethal weapon like a taser. They're not going to stab you with a knife. They would use the knife for, like I'm sure cutting open cutting off zip ties and things like that. I can see that. But I can't really see them, using this as a self-defense weapon, even though if I was a law enforcement officer, I'd want something that could be used as a self-defense weapon. But that wouldn't be my primary purpose of it. My primary purpose of having a folder would be for emergency rescue type stuff, like cutting seat belts or cutting zip ties or, things like that. I wouldn't so much be more concerned with it being a weapon. Now, with that being said, this is an excellent knife. This is the American Lawman by Cold Steel. This is an excellent knife. It's actually one of my favorite all-time folders for a 3.5 inch blade. The American Lawman. I've been carrying these for probably about 12 years now. I don't know, ever since they first came out in '08 and with the triad locks. Absolutely love it. This is the old one. This is a CTS 6HP version. That's my favorite one. It's the one that's not in the safe. Because I still carry this one. I've been carrying it ever since I bought it. Absolutely love this knife. They're super lightweight. They're very lightweight. Not super lightweight, but 4 ounces lightweight. And they have the thin G10 scales instead of the thicker G10 scales. The older versions with the Oz 8 blades came with thicker G10 scales. It's got a CTS 6HP blade that's DLC coated. And it has an awesome edge. It holds the edge very well. This one's a hologram one. This is the old version. The new versions are saber ground. And they have a CPM S35 VM blade. Everybody should know about the American Lawman. American Lawman's been around for a long time. Absolutely love it. It's one of my favorite knives of all time from Cold Steel. Let's put them down like this, huh? Okay. Next one up is another knife that I really like. And as you guys know, I'm not really a big Spyderco person, but I like a few Spyderco knives extremely a whole lot. And the ones I like extremely a whole lot are the Amalgam with the compression lock, the Sliverax with the compression lock, and the Manix 2 XL, this one. And this is the one I would recommend for law enforcement. It has a ball bearing lock, and I've replaced the plastic ball bearing holder or cage with a titanium one from Flight Titanium. It has G10 handle scales, S30V blade, and it's made in Golden, Colorado, USA. Excellent knife. Now this is another great knife that'd be great for a law enforcement officer too, because it could be a self-defense tool, but I think it excels as a utility knife. That's one thing I really like about the Spydercos is that they're super slicey. They make really nice slicey blades, full flat ground blades. I would not pry anything with this blade, but it is an awesome slicer. It is an awesome slicer. Absolutely love it. And easily opened with one hand or left hand. It's ambidextrous. Ball bearing lock is totally ambidextrous. Absolutely love it. And this is one of my favorite all-time knives of all time. What is it? This and the Thai Light are my two favorite stilettos. And this one right here is the Benchmade 391 BK, plain edge. I absolutely love this one, people. This has got the D2 blade. I can't remember what kind of finish this is. I want to say it's like a Cerakote or something like this. I don't think it's a DLC. I think it's a Cerakote or a PVD or something. It's got carbon fiber elite handle scales. Carbon fiber elite is like a polymer and carbon fiber mixed together. Sort of like in between Grivery and carbon fiber. Or Grivery, you take Grivery and carbon fiber and you let them have a baby, get them together, let them mate and have a baby, and this is what you get, carbon fiber elite. This one's got a glass breaker, which should be good for emergency use for a law enforcement officer. Now this one's not such a utility blade. This one's more of a, I would call this a tactical stiletto. A tactical folding stiletto. And that's why I like it. That's why I like it. I would call this one a tactical folding stiletto too. But this one more so. This blade is more like a regular stiletto blade. It's like a bayonet sort of blade because you got a flat that comes out to here, then you got a swedge, and then you got the edge. It's made to sort of mimic a double-edged knife, but I don't know if you want to call it double edge or if you want to call it more like a bayonet because you got the flat back here. But either way, it's a beautiful knife. It's got the Omega springs in it. As long as you keep your Omega springs greased, they don't break. This one I broke 2 Omega springs on way back when I first got it, and then I learned about greasing the Omega springs, and I haven't broken any since. I've had it for about 2 or 3 years now. And the springs that I broke happened in the first one was in 3 months, the second one was in 6 months. And this knife has been carried a lot. And it's one of my favorites. I got a bunch of these. I got like 4 of them. I got 2, I think, with the partially serrated blade and 2 plain edge ones. Absolutely love it. This is another great knife. This is another great knife for 2 hands. I mean, for your left hand. It's also ambidextrous. Kind of awkward for me using my left hand, people. I'm being honest. Let's do it with left hand, huh? I mean the right hand. Excellent knife. And this one runs on ball bearings. I mean, not ball bearings, but bronze phosphor washers. And I can't remember, I think this one's on phosphor washers too. This was on bronze phosphor washers, and this one's on bearings. Well, that's about all I got to say. I hope this helps out John Smith, the viewer that was asking me this question. I don't really have, I think, what he was looking for, because I think he wants the OTF. Yeah, so this is like I'm not exactly sure what he's asking me. I think he was more interested in like OTFs, but the OTFs are cool. But the only thing I don't like about OTFs is that the blade play. I don't like all the blade play and the blade slot. And I understand that the only ones that don't have that is a Hawks lock one, which costs like $1,000 or something like that. They're not cheap. And then I think the S.O.G, Studies and Observation Group one, is like about $300 or $400, something like that. But new OTF for 2022. That would probably be the one I would more or less go to if I was John. I don't know if I'd want to spend $1,000 on something that I'm going to be carrying every day as an EDC folder. I think I'd rather spend, less than half of that, and just in case it gets messed up during its usage, and so they can be easily replaced. But anyway, that's me. That's about all we got today. I hope everybody's doing good out there. Peace out. Stiletto.